Good morning, everyone. We are the team composed of Guilherme Neves, João Calçonas, João Sá, and Gonçalo Didier. This project was developed under supervision of Professor Lages and Professor Marques. Our challenge was how can we increase WWF Portugal individual donor base? To address this challenge, we applied the VCW methodology, a value creation wheel, which follows a five-phase structure. Define, we clarified the challenge with our KDM and identified available resources and KPIs. Increase, we generated a wide range of ideas and evaluation criteria without judgment. Analyze, we selected and prioritized the most relevant ideas and filters. Narrow, we applied filters to identify the best solution and refined them through structure analysis. And act, when we built an implementation plan, validation resources, and setting KPIs to bring the solutions to life. This process allow us to generate and refine ideas systematically, combining creativity with evidence-based and decision making. Our KDM, key decision maker, was Ana Paula Queiroga from WWF Portugal, who worked closely with us throughout the project. The goal was to find practical, scalable solutions to attract more individual donors, especially among younger generations. As a multidisciplinary team, we approached this issue by combining strategic analysis with user centric thinking. Our proposed solution is the WWF Guardians campaign, a digitally driven, emotionally engaging initiative designed to attract individual donors, especially younger generations. This campaign combines three core elements. First, we use augmented reality storytelling triggered by scannable QR codes placed in strategic locations to bring and anticipations and WWF works to life. Second, we introduce campus ambassadors, empowering students to lead local engagement on their own universities. And third, we created a gamified donation journey throughout a digital Guardian Passport, where donors can track their impact and unlock badges on or rewards. This approach is cost-effective, highly scalable, and builds on WWF strengths, making conservation feels personal, shareable, and rewarding. It turns young supporters into active donors and ambassadors, helping WWF grow its social donors network in meaningful and modern way. We explored over 30 initial ideas and applied a structured evaluation process. The final solution emerged as a compelling, emotionally driven campaign that uses digital innovation and storytelling to engage younger audiences, encouraging micro donations and promote lasting connections with the WWF mission. This is the first phase, define. WWF currently relies heavily on institutional and corporate funding, with only about 3,500 active individual donors. In order to meet its 2030 conservation goals, it must significantly expand this base. Our focus was on the 20 to 35 age group, which has a potential but remains under-engaged. Going to the SWOT analysis, WWF Portugal has a strong brand recognition, trusted partnerships, and experience in education and awareness. Whatever its communication still lacks, personalization and donor retention is weak. There is a great opportunity in digital engagement, gamification, and influencer partnerships. But threats like economic instability, misinformation, and strong competition must be carefully addressed. From the SWOT analysis, we created strategies. With its strengths, WWF can explore digital tools and local campaigns to grow. To fix weaknesses, it should personalize donor experiences and improve retention. To counter threats, it must reinforce transparency and storytelling. And to size opportunity, WWF should test creative formats and involve youth and partners. Politically and economically, WWF must adapt to funding shifts and bureaucracy socially. Young people are more engaged, and rural areas need tailored messaging. Technology tools like AR and crowdfunding are major opportunities. Ecological urgency boosts relevance, but legal constraints like GDPR demand carefully designed. The external context supports innovation, but with responsibility. In the VREO analysis, WWF's strongest resources include its brand credibility, scientific expertise, and international network. According to VREO framework, this offers a sustainable competitive advantage, whatever its tangible resources like funding need to be used more strategically. In the competitor benchmarking, we compare the WWF with organizations like Greenpeace and Oceano Azul. Unlike Greenpeace confrontational activism, WWF positioned itself as a science-based diplomatic NGO. Our solution was designed to align with this peaceful professional identifier while still being bold and engaging. Passing to our challenge. In the challenge reformulation, after the diagnosing the problem, we reframed the challenge as how can we create personal, emotion engaging campaigns that motivate more Portuguese citizens to become regular WWF donors. This guiding question informed all further phases. In the challenge validation, we validated the challenge with KDM and Paulo Queiroga. She confirmed this is a critical issue for the organization and committed to supporting and implementation of any viable, cost-effective solutions. This ensured our work was both relevant and actionable. Here we applied the five ways technique to understand the root causes behind WWF difficulty in growing its donor base. We started by asking why aren't current campaigns working? The answer is that they don't generate strong emotional engagement or lasting commitment. Why is that? Because the messaging lacks personalization and doesn't highlight local impact. This happens because there's limited use of data to segment audiences and adapt content. That in turn is due to a lack of investment in digital tools, storytelling, and community building. And finally, all of these stems from the absence of structured donor journey, and hundreds of influencers or gamified platforms. These exercises helped us uncover what really needs to change, not just the message, but the entire engagement strategy. The four M's we then assessed WWF available resources, manpower, minutes, money, and motivation. Despite financial constraints, then the team has strong internal motivation, enough time, and capable workforce, particularly it, in its communication and fundraising departments. Finally, the subphase of expected KPIs. We established key performance indicators across three areas: project process, VCW methodology, and final outcomes. These KPIs include stakeholders' engagement, number of ideas generated, increase in micro donations, and overall impact of proposed campaigns. Our key decision maker, Ana Paula Queiroga, was actively involved throughout all phases of the project, from the definition of the challenge to the selection and refinement of ideas. Her input was essential to ensure feasibility, alignment with WWF values, and organization supports for implementation.
Now let's dive into phase 2. This phase is all about collecting ideas. We focus on brainstorming without judgment. It's about quantity, not quality at this point. We also define the criteria that we would later use to evaluate those ideas. So this phase had three parts: 2A ideas, 2B criteria, and 2C purification of concepts. We generated over 30 different ideas. Some were very practical, others very creative. We used a method called brainwriting, followed by brainstorming sessions. It helped everyone bring fresh perspectives. All of this was possible because we created a space to think big and take risks. Uh, in this slide, you can check some of our ideas that we achieved with these methods. When we stepped back and looked at our ideas, we realized something important. The best ones had two things in common: they were emotional engaging and they were using technology in a smart and modern way. Younger donors, especially aged between 20 to 35 years old, are not looking for not boring or generic campaigns. They want to feel something, they want to see their impact, and they want it to be interactive. This insight helped us filter and prioritize later. We also used AI platforms to push creative further. Um, we categorized them into incremental ideas, breakthrough ideas, even radical, such as a donation platform linked to DNA or customers giving. Some ideas here, like donors could get updates like your line Joan just entered today. Other one, they could fund green spaces with their names on signs, or even scan QR codes in the city and see AR animals appear in their habitat. They call this the Netflix for Donors approach. You subscribe and you get content updates, even prizes. All of this help donors feel engaged, rewarded, and emotional connected. With all those ideas in hand, we needed a way to evaluate them. That's where our criteria comes in. We identified 18 filters that would help us judge ideas later. These filters came from WWF internal conversation, where we found 10 filters. This is primary data, and then external reports and benchmark, where we found 8 filters. This is secondary data. Some examples are financial feasibility, legal and regulatory risks, emotional connection, shareability, technological variability, viability, potential to engage the 20 to 35 age group, and of course alignment with the WWF values. This gave us a strong framework to make smart decisions later. Once we had our filters, we needed to prioritize them. We used the poker method, a simple, visual, and democratic way to rank what really matters. The team voted and debated until we ended up with 8 final criteria. Now we go to the phase 3. This is where the fun ends and the hard choice begin. We take all our great ideas and run them through the filters we choose. This phase includes select ideas, select criteria, rank and weight criteria. So let's walk through each step. We went back to our 35 ideas and compared them carefully. We used the feedback from both our team and the key decision maker, Anapal Kerouac. We also looked at WWF's identify peaceful, scientific, credible, not aggressive like some other NGOs. So we removed ideas that didn't fit, like this too expensive or too controversial. What we kept were ideas that were engaging, cost-effective, scalable, and clearly aligned with the WWF values. Now we are at the phase 3B, select the criteria, where we will use our filters to select our ideas. We used our 7 filters to evaluate the ideas. We split them into 2 groups, must-have filters and nice-to-have filters. About the must-have filters, these were non-negotiable. If an idea failed on of this, it was out. For example, if it didn't align with the WWF's values, gone. If it was too expensive, gone. If it couldn't engage young people, gone. These filters helped us to protect the integrity and impact of our campaign. Regarding the nice-to-have filters, these weren't required, but they added value. For example, could the idea scale beyond our city? Did it stand out against other NGOs? Was it deeply meaningful to donors? If 2 ideas were close, this filter helped us pick the winner. Now, at the phase 3C, we needed to score the ideas. We gave each one a rating from 1 to 5 on the filters, and we assign weights to each filter, depending on its importance. We have the scalability with 35% of importance, originality with 45% of importance, and finally meaningful with 20% of importance. Only ideas scoring 4 or above on the first 3 filters were considered strong. This was a database transparent way to choose the best ideas. It allowed us to compare ideas side by side, remove weak ones, and focus on top candidates. This kind of scoring method made it easier to justify our choice, both internally and to WWF stakeholders. By the end of phase 3, we had a short list of winning ideas, a clear decision-making process, and a strong alignment with our mission and audience. These ideas were now ready to move into phase 4, which my colleagues will explain next.
Now, moving on to phase 4, we'll focus on the narrow part and we'll start by exploring the value creation funnel. In phase 4A, we use the value creation funnel to systematically narrow down 35 ideas to 15 high potential concepts. Here's how we apply the 5 critical filters. Alignment with WWF's mission. First, we ensure that all ideas resonated with WWF's core values, reducing the pool to 30 ideas. Financial feasibility. Next, we address the cost and practically leaving up with 20 ideas. regulatory compliance, legal considerations, further refine the list to 19. Audience engagement, we prioritize concepts tailored to our target demographic, ages between 20 and 35, resulting in 17 ideas. Finally, measurable impact. Finally, we focused on the short to mid-term results, landing on 5 top contenders. With 15 ideas still on the table, we'll now use the multi-criteria decision analysis (MCDA) to rank them against our priority filters and identify the strongest opportunities for prototyping. This funnel ensures our resources are invested in solutions that are impactful, feasible, and aligned with WWF's goals. As you can see on this slide, we applied the multi-criteria decision analysis to the final 15 concepts, and only 3 came out with the strongest score of 1, and they were considered the 3 final solutions. Through our dual phase evaluation, combining the value creation's funnel mandatory filters and MCDA's nice to have criteria, we've converged on 3 high impact strategies. Emotional storytelling campaigns, why it works, harnesses powerful narratives to inspire action and boost donations. Directly supports WWF's mission by connecting donors to conservation outcomes. Then, WWF Campus Ambassadors Program. Why it works? Taps into university networks for awareness and long-term engagement. Easily expandable across regions with student-led advocacy. Finally, QR-powered virtual animals. This works because it merges tech innovation with donor interaction. Scan codes to see animals and donate instantly. Creates a memorable, shareable experience for urban audiences. These ideas emerged as a strongest blend of mission, alignment, feasibility, and audience appeal. Now we'll move on with phase 4, but 4B with concept and value proposition. Let me walk you through our final concept, WWF Gardens. This brings together the 3 strongest ideas from our evaluation process into one cohesive campaign. First, we have emotional storytelling campaigns. This will share powerful stories about wildlife and conservation to inspire donations. Think videos and social media content that really connects with people's hearts. Second is our Campus Ambassadors program. We'll recruit student leaders at universities to organize events, spread awareness, and champion WWF's mission among their peers. This gives us authentic grassroots engagement. Third is the QR code experience. Donors can scan QR codes around campuses or cities to see virtual animals in AR and get instant donation options. It's interactive, memorable, and perfect for our tech-savvy 20 to 35 demographic. Together, these form WWF Gardens, a national campaign that brings conservation to life through peer advocacy, immersive tech, and compelling stories. The beauty is how these elements reinforce each other. Ambassadors promote the QR experiences, which leads to donations while sharing conservation stories. We see this as more than just fundraising. It's about creating lasting connections between young people and our cause. The ambassadors become long-term advocates, the QR code interactions make conservation tangible, and the stories give meaning to every donation. Now let's take a look at who we are targeting with this WWF Gardens campaign and why this approach works so well for these groups. Our primary audience is young adults, aged between 20 and 35 years old, especially students, though we've designed it to remain inclusive for older supporters too. These are environmentally conscious individuals who want to make a difference but might not have the large amounts to donate. Geographically, we're starting locally with campus activations and city-based QR codes here in Portugal, but the digital components mean we can scale this very easily globally through the app and social media. In terms of their profile, these are students and young professionals who may only be able to give small amounts right now, but are eager to engage through micro donations, sharing content, or participating in advocacy. The campaign turns these smaller actions into meaningful impact. Behaviorally, we're speaking to true digital natives, people who expect innovative, interactive experiences. The AR elements and gamification speak their language. More importantly, we're creating a pathway from one time interactions to recurring engagement by making supporters feel like true guardians of conservation through ongoing storytelling. What's powerful here is how we're meeting this audience where they are, both physically on campuses and digitally through the channels they use daily. We're not asking them to change their behavior, we're fitting into their existing habits in a way that makes supporting conservation easy and rewarding. Now let's move on to the last stage of Phase 4 prototype. Let me walk you through the product and pricing strategy for our WWF Gardens campaign. This is where the rubber meets the road in terms of what we're actually offering and how we'll sustain it. At its core, we're creating two main products: an immersive AR experience where scanning QR codes brings endangered animals to life through interactive stories. Our campus ambassador program that trains students to run local events and activations. But we're going beyond just these basics. We're enhancing the experience with what we call augmented products. A digital garden passport that tracks donations, award badges, and shows your personal impact. Simple microdonation options where small amounts like €5 can feed an animal for a week, making the impact tangible. For pricing, we're keeping barriers extremely low. Microdonations from 5 to €20, either one time or recurring. Value-based tiers where €5 a month gets you digital updates, while €20 a month unlocks special virtual file trips with our scientists. We're also recognizing that for many students their currency might be time rather than money, so sharing on social media or scanning QR codes counts as engagement too. What's smart here is how we've matched the offering to our audience's capacity. The €5 entry point makes it accessible, while the tiered rewards create room to grow their involvement over time. And the Garden Passport turns what could be transactional donations into an ongoing relationship. Now let's take a look about how we'll actually get this campaign in front of people, our placement and promotion strategy. We're taking a phygital approach that combines physical and digital touchpoints where our audience already spends time. For physical placement, we're focusing on two key hotspots: universities. Imagine QR codes on library desks or cafeteria trays where students naturally linger. We'll work with students' associations to make these available across campus. Also, local partner businesses, coffee shops, bookstores, where we can place codes on tables or floors. As an extra incentive, scanning to donate gets you 10% off your next purchase at that store. A win-win situation. Digitally, we're meeting young supporters where they live online. Social media filters that let you transform into links with a donation link. A dedicated WWF that becomes the hub for all AR experiences and impact tracking. For promotion, we're leveraging four powerful approaches. First, peer-driven buzz through our campus ambassadors, the most authentic form of marketing. Guerrilla-style surprises like QR code on coffee shops with playful prompts, scan to see what's hiding here. Social virality, when the donors unlock fun AR filters to show "I rescued" links and share. Targeted digital ads showing AR previews with a clear CTA, QR codes near you can help you rescue them. What makes this work is how organic it feels. We're not forcing the message, we're embedding it naturally into spaces and platforms our audience already enjoys. The peer and social elements mean the campaign will spread itself, while the local partnerships give it world credibility. Let's now look at the operational side of the WWF Gardens campaign: the people who make it happen, the donor journey with design, and the tangible proof that builds trust in what we're doing. People power. Internally, our WWF team will train ambassadors and manage all AR and marketing content. Externally, we're activating three key groups. Student ambassadors will host events and amplify our message, tech partners to develop the AR experiences, and finally, local business and universities providing physical spaces for QR codes. The donor journey, we've streamlined the process to just four natural steps. First, you notice a QR code on campus and get curious. You scan it to experience an emotional AR story. Then, donate through a simple two-click process, and finally, stay engaged through garden passport updates and sharing opportunities. Moving on to physical evidence, recreating both digital and real-world touchpoints to make the impact feel real. Digital AR animals dashboards showing you've helped protect 100 square meters of forest. And also in person, ambassador branded totes for top donors and campus leaderboards. This end-to-end approach ensures every interaction from first scan to ongoing engagement feels meaningful, transparent, and rewarding for our supporters. In this slide, you can see a prototype of our solution. We decided to call Scan to Rescue Elsa, the links. In this case, we decided to put a QR code with the animal to create more urgency and curiosity. So the people scans it, and then the person sees the links on endangered habitat and is sad, and then the story for the links appears as well as the options to donate. With just two clicks, the person is able to donate and also to learn about a little more about the story of the Iberian lynx. This slide that you are currently seeing perfectly captures why our WWF Gardens approach stands out in the crowded conservation space, especially for engaging Gen Z and millennials. Our competitive edge versus Greenpeace. While organizations like Greenpeace often focus on confrontation, we're taking a different path. Our Save the Links example shows how we create personal connections. Instead of protesting habitat loss, we let you virtually meet dead links in your own space through AR, creating an emotional bond that leads to action. Why this resonates with young audiences? Well, it's scannable and instant. QR codes turn a moment of curiosity into real impact. Second, inherently shareable, the AR filters and leaderboards make conservation social media worthy. Third, gamified but meaningful. That 5 euros donation doesn't just disappear, it becomes you fed Elsa the links today. The psychology behind it. Well, we're using smart behavioral nudges. Framing the donations as adoption creates lasting emotional investment. Real time updates sustain engagement far beyond a one time transaction. Campus leaderboards trap into friendly competition while showing collective impact. This is conservation reimagined for the digital generation where every interaction is designed to be as engaging as the social apps they love, but with real world impact.
Now we will move through phase 5, the 4Ms and business model. This table shows the key roles, responsibilities, and allocations. Student ambassadors lead campus engagement and QR code visibility. AR developers create immersive experiences. The marketing team designs the animal stories and the impact reports. Partnership managers secure support from universities and businesses. And we have assigned 1 to 2 people per campus to ensure a strong on-the-ground presence. Here we can see the timeline um, from the beginning of 2026 to the end of 2027. In the beginning of 2026, we expect start the project planning and end the year with the AR development and create partnerships. In the beginning of 2027, we expect to recruit ambassadors and launch the app and through after that process, we plan to scale and optimize. Here we can see the budget breakdown. So we can see 7,000 euros are going to AR development, 3,000 euros are going to social ads and precision targeting engine. Universities provide QR materials, so they have a fixed cost low, and to maintain the campaign effectiveness, we allocate 2,000 euros, which leads us to a total of 12,000 euros of for a lean launch budget. So it's important to keep the stakeholders motivated. Student ambassadors gain recognition and skills through WWF certification. Donors see real-time impact and earn digital achievements. University partners benefit from positive ESG branding and student engagement. And internally, the WWF staff are motivated by innovation and legacy building.
This is our business model Canva. We partnered with universities, local cafes, AR developers, and social media users. Our key activities include creating AR experiences, training students ambassadors, and launching QR-based campaigns. We offered emotional, immersive AR stories about endangered animals, driving awareness and action through micro-donations and gamified tools like Guardian Passports. Our main audience is young adults, especially students in Portugal who are digital natives and care about making an impact. We reach them through QR codes, a mobile app, social media, and on campus ambassadors. Our key resources are our AR tech, content team, and student network. The cost focus on tech maintenance, content, and training. The revenue comes from small donations, monthly subscriptions, and local sponsorships. In short, we use AR storytelling and youth engagement to support conservation.
Now we're going to test and KPIs evaluation. Um, so this slide shows how we applied the VCW methodology to narrow down and select the best solutions. We made meetings to define the work goals, KVM involvement across all the phases. There was compliance with the project deliveries. We use of 4 minimum frameworks. We have the correct application of all VCW phases. We identify a clear and original solution. We also generate at least 30 ideas for the solution. Um, engage more local. We want to engage more local communities and increase significantly the donations. In the short term, we expect 4,000 QR scans and 500 micro donations. In the medium term, we expect plus than 9,000 QR scans and 1,500 micro donations. In the long term, we expect plus 15,000 scans and 4,000 micro donations. The donation will average in the short term will average to 0 to 3 euros, in the medium to 2 from 2 to 5, and in the long term from 5 to 7 euros. We identified 4 main risk areas. Adoption risk is solved by gamified scan and rescue challenges and improved key visibility. Technology risk. We tested AR for compatibility and developed a low data lit mode. Retention risk. We address with no donation subscription and social rewards. And in the competitive risk, our solution is harder to copy due to the AR storytelling format and fast rollout plan. Now we move through implementation and control phase. So we aligned all stakeholders and validated our final concept through the full VCW process. KPIs were clearly defined and internal resources were confirmed. We focused on building the digital infrastructure. First, the AR storytelling filters. Emotional stories triggered by scanning QR codes such as rescue Elsa the links. Second, we created a Guardian passport, a digital passport where donors can track their impact, unlock badges, and receive updates. And third, we designed a smart QR codes to be placed in high traffic areas on campus, cafeterias, libraries, bus stop, connected directly to donation flows. We also ran beta tests with pilot users to ensure that the AR experiences worked smoothly on most smartphones and that the donation journey was intuitive as emotional. We'll select 2 ambassadors per university, ensuring local relevance and peer credibility. Each ambassador will receive training, a digital toolkit, access to GameFeed leaderboard system to keep them motivated. We'll also activate local partnerships with coffees and student unions to increase QR code visibility. Promotional materials include stickers, posters, and WWF branded giveaways to raise awareness. Ambassadors will promote the campaign in person and online using AR filters, storytelling challenges, and donation prompts. The initial milestone for the pilot is over 1,000 engagement and at least 500 micro donations. Active feedback from students and ambassadors will improve the next rollout phase, and this hands-on testing period is crucial for validating both the concept and the implementation model. Now we move into monitoring and scanning. Our approach is based on continuous improvement through agile financial tracking and data feedback. We will monitor budget uses per phase, cost per donation acquisition, donor retention metrics. Monthly reports will be shared in the KDM and project partners. Based on this data, we'll adjust strategies and reallocate funds to the most effective tactics. At the same time, we'll conduct a final donor survey to collect insights on user satisfaction, emotional engagement, barriers to recruiting donations. This will feed into our national rollout proposal, aiming to expand WWF Guardians campaign to 25 plus campuses in 2026.
Now that all the phases of VCW are applied and analyzed, we'll move on with conclusion where we'll explore lessons learned and also the next steps for this project. As we plan the WWF Gardens rollout, here's our roadmap. So, Phase 1, which is the pilot launch, will debut AR platform with 4 flagship animal stories, including the links, then establish a real-time tracking for scans, conversions, and retention. Then, at the growth phase, we plan to expand to 4 additional animal stories post-launch. Also, enhance donor experience with improved app features and impact updates. Finally, scaling vision, campus by campus expansion with QR code networks, community participation programs. Finally, partnership needs, tech, AR platform partners for cost-effective tools, universities, formal ambassador program agreements, and businesses with local QR code hosting partners. This phased approach ensures we validate the concept while building infrastructure for scale. Let me summarize what we'll deliver with WWF Gardens and what this means for our organization moving forward. First, project outputs. We'll create 3 concrete assets: an AR-powered campaign bringing conservation stories to life through QR codes, a structured campus ambassador program training students as conservation advocates, and finally, a sustainable funding model combining micro-donations and tech partnerships. Moving on to Phase 2, monitoring and adaptation, we'll track success through QR scans and donation conversions, app engagement metrics, and ambassador activity levels. With weekly check-ins, we can quickly refine what's working, like adjusting story content based on which AR experiences get shared the most. Third, organizational shift. This represents more than a campaign, it's a strategic pivot. From occasional youth events to sustained digital engagement, from traditional fundraising to tech enabled donor journeys, and also creating a blueprint we can scale nationally and adopt globally. Fourth and last step, leadership commitments. To succeed long term, we'll need continued investment in our digital infrastructure, breaking down silos between fundraising, education, and tech teams, and also deeper university partnerships beyond the pilot phase. The payoff? A future proof model that grows with our donors, from students to lifelong supporters. We're grateful to share WWF Portugal's official response to our proposal, following a productive discussion with our leadership team, including our key decision maker, Ana Paula Queiroga. Key takeaways from WWF Portugal. First, positive reception. They found the WWF garden concept innovative and compelling, particularly its emotionally storytelling approach, which aligns well with their existing communicating strategies. Second, strategic integration. While enthusiastic, they recommend integrate the pilot into their Restore Portugal initiative in years 2-3, meaning this 2027 or 2028, once the project reaches greater maturity. This ensures alignment with their broader conservation goals. Third, next steps. They've proposed a pilot at Nova University to test adapted solutions, emphasizing the need to tailor certain elements to their specific conservation priorities. Our path forward: refine the concept to address WWF Portugal's operational realities, a plan for a 2027 pilot leveraging their Restore Portugal framework, and also maintain a dialogue to ensure seamless integration. This feedback validates our core ideas while giving us a clear roadmap for collaboration. I also wanted to highlight the theoretical implications through our VCW application. So on the left side, you can see the secondary data where we analyze industry reports or on donor trends, NGOs, competitors, and analysis, especially Greenpeace, social media benchmarks, and academic studies on gamification. On the right side, we also used a lot of business frameworks, from SWOT analysis to TAOS analysis, PESTEL analysis, the MCDA, multi-criteria decision analysis, the 5 whys techniques to better define the challenge, and also stakeholder theory as well as behavioral nudge theory. We also wanted to share 3 key lessons from applying the value creation wheel to this project, insights that will shape how we tackle future challenges. First, structured ideation works. The VCW's phased approach, from defining problems to taking action, helped us evaluate more than 30 ideas. By separating brainstorming, no limits, from evaluation, with strict criteria, we found solutions that were both practical and creative. Second, adaptability beats rigidity. While the VCW gave us essential structure, we customized tools like MCDA to fit our needs. Our mandatory filters, like alignment with WWF's values, guided rather than limited us, providing that good frameworks should empower, not constrain. Third, clarity fuels innovation. The VCW's diagnostic rigor ensured focus, but we always tailored it to our context, keeping WWF's mission expanded creative possibilities, showing that clear boundaries can inspire better ideas. These lessons position us to replicate this success in future projects. We also thought it was important to do a quick highlight of how AI supercharged our VCW process. Idea generation: AI tools helped brainstorm and refine concept. Dynamic filters let us adapt evaluation criteria in real time, and method optimization. AI platforms suggested VCW phase improvements. The result: a systematic review of more than 30 ideas that balance innovation with practically through structured yet flexible thinking. In this slide you can find the references that were used to develop all of these projects. Now that we've reached the end of our presentation, I wanted to say that we are very proud and happy with our final solution, WWF Gardens. We really believe that it could be impactful and innovative in terms of the donations in Portugal and who knows, in the world. Other than that, we found some challenges, such as applying the VCW method, which was new for all of us, and also generating ideas and really finding the better one for our project. With all being said, thank you so much for listening